Hello, this is Hazel and welcome to my first ever episode of Yarnful Mind. So I'm creating this YouTube channel as a podcast channel. I really enjoy watching these kind of videos while I work on my yarn projects. So I think I might create one and join into this beautiful community. In today's video, I'm going to go over some of the projects I've been working on already for fall 2024, as well as some planning that I might finish or might not during this entire beautiful fall. I will talk a little bit about my knitting background and some thoughts and consideration for putting together this plan. If you want to skip to the actual projects, you can just check the timestamp. So I've been working with yarns for maybe 5 or 6 years now. However, I've mainly did crochet. I did mostly just amigurumis, and I do make some other smaller projects like this tissue cover. I've made this in so many different colors and gifted to friends. But for making actual garments, it's quite new for me and quite challenging. And I never knew that it takes that much time to create just one garment. I accumulated quite amount of yarn, as you can see in the background. That's just a corner of it. So I'm trying to bash through my stash. Is that how you call it? Stash busting? Bash through? English is not my first language. Please bear with me. Anyway, I'm trying to work my way through my stash of yarn instead of getting new ones, and it just keep falling up, and there's no way I can finish all of them, it feels like. In my planning part, there's gonna be some projects that I've already selected yarns for, or I'm actually selecting the project based on the yarn I already have so that I can try to work through it. I'm not sure if you're familiar with MBTI, the personality test. I'm a very accurate ENFP. So for me, making plans and sticking to it can be quite challenging. I don't know if I will actually follow the plan and finish everything on the list, or some of the projects I won't be able to finish because I'm being too ambitious and made too many plans for myself. Some of it might get carried over to, sorry, that's my cat, carried over to winter knits, or they may get to changing to other pieces or just give up on them. That's all possible. I consider myself as a beginner dash intermediate knitter, so I'm giving myself the freedom and the forgiveness to make trials and errors, mistakes, regrets, and all that good stuff. Anyway, let's get into it. So the first part of this planning is actually some pieces that's already on the needles. The first project I have is the Eva cardigan by petiteknit. I cast this on, I think, early September. I've made this much progress so far. So I just finished knitting the first sleeve last night, and then I still have the second one to go, as well as the front panel with the buttonholes. So I know petiteknit is a very popular and famous knitwear designer or pattern designer. So many of you are probably already familiar with her works and with this piece, the Eva cardigan. The yarn I'm using for this piece is actually what's listed on the pattern. Is the cardigan by Sandnes yarn in the shade 4023. So it's a quite blushy pink color. Actually, this is not something I would choose for myself on my own. But when I was deciding what color to pick, I was in that moment where I just couldn't make a decision. So I asked one of my friends, I'm like, yeah, you can just pick whatever color. You pick it, I'll wear it. I will make it and wear it. And kind of as a joke, she's like, I dare you to pick this pink color. And I did. Well, so far, I'm quite happy with it actually. But I will have more detailed explanation of my thoughts and the knitting process while I actually finish the garment. When I actually wear it a couple times, maybe I will do finished project podcast next episode. But for now, I'm quite enjoy working with the yarn. The yarn is quite coarse actually, so this piece is not gonna be like a very soft, like a close to the skin texture cardigan. It's more of an outerwear piece, which is perfect for fall. Yeah. So the next piece I have on the needle already is this. I forgot the name of it. I will put it right here. So it's this piece right here. Originally, I'm supposed to make it into a long sleeve pullover style sweater. This is the yarn I'm using for it. This yarn is by a Chinese brand called Life Yarn, and it's their, I think it's 100% cashmere. It feels very soft and luxurious. However, I didn't get enough yarn. I bought them in, I think, March or April last year. So after I finished, actually I had more of the sleeve done. I had about like this length of the sleeve done already before I realized I didn't have enough yarn for it. So I was trying to get more of it. And of course, since it's been so long, the yarn is not in a different lot and it's in a totally different shade. I mean, it's on the label, it says the same shade, but if you put them together, you can see there is a color difference. So I was trying to find this lot to continue with the sleeves online. I couldn't. I couldn't. There were a couple knitters who reached out trying to help me, but they all turned out to be a lot more brighter or white compared to mine. Mine is more of a cream color. So after a long time of frustration, I've decided to make it into just a sleeveless pullover top. So I'll just need to cast on for both of the sleeves and need a couple centimeters of the 2x2 rib to finish it off and pick up the collar and do the ribbing on the collar, and this will be done. So this won't take long at all, maybe like 2 or 3 days while I'm still working on other projects, that is. Okay, I think I will try to finish the cardigan first and then this one, because this one, although I would think it's sleeveless top, so it's really suitable to wear in the fall weather, where I can just layer a basic long sleeve t-shirt or a shirt underneath or a blouse. But it is cashmere. Cashmere for me, they are very lightweight, but they can be very warm. So I think that's a piece that I will actually wear later than the really thick Eva cardigan. Okay, moving on to the next one. So the third sweater that's already on my needle is this really beautiful gray neck pullover top. It's actually by a Chinese clothing brand called Overyod. I don't know how they pronounce it. They had a similar design already for the last fall and winter. They did a dark gray, which wasn't something that I really want to go for. And this year they made it into a new color, in this pink color. Still, I just don't find myself wearing that color a lot. And also I checked the content of the material. It has a lot of synthetic material in it, and I usually prefer natural fiber more. So I'm trying to knit this pullover for myself. But like I said in the beginning, I'm not equipped with all that knitting skill to calculate and design, and don't know how to do the increases or decreases on this huge U-neck. If it's a V-neck, maybe I can steal this and that from each pattern to try to figure it out, but this is too much for me. So what I did was I went to this really old styled mall in my city, where there are people selling different fabrics and yarns, all kind of different notions. So I went to one of the yarn shop and asked the lady if she know how to knit this based on the picture of it. She's like, yeah, it's a piece of cake. I asked, if I buy yarn from you, could you teach me and guide me through the steps of making this for myself? And she's like, yeah, sure. So I got the yarn there. Let me show you. So it's this gray color yarn. It's 100% wool. It's not saying superwash on the label, but it does feel superwash. Like it doesn't really have that coarseness to it. It's very smooth and just a tiny bit of shininess. But it knits up really well. I'm knitting it in different pieces and sewing them together. And then start with the back panel. I have this much done right now. I'm really excited to see this one done because it's the first time ever I'm knitting not based on a pattern. Right now, I'm a little bit concerned that if this yarn is gonna be too thick to achieve the same look as the model, but I still think it's a really fun and challenging, adventurous project to cast on. I will let you know how it turns out. Moving on to the fourth project I've already casted on. Well, this is not a cast on because this is a crochet project. It's this really cute and whimsical bag with mushrooms on it. I've made this much of the progress already. So this yarn is actually 3 different strands held together. One of them is like this. This is really standard wool looking yarn. And the next one is this one with like the loops on it, and the color is a gradient color to create that really fluffy and cutesy effect. And the third yarn is this, I think is cotton and something synthetic. I'm not sure because this I bought as a DIY kit, so I'm not sure what kind of yarn is it. This yarn is the hardest among the all 3. I think it's for giving the bag more structure. I have not yet started any of the mushrooms, and I don't have the yarn by my hand, but I might put a picture here. To be honest, I don't know if I will actually wear this bag. For accessories, I find myself really attracted to these kind of fairy tale or whimsical designs, but my wardrobe, it doesn't really go with it. We'll see. Do you have the feeling that sometimes when you make something and the project just kind of calls out to you, saying, oh, I need to go to this friend or that family? Like they have their own like spirit or mind, kind of like they are made by you, but they want to go somewhere through your hands. I don't know if you have that feeling, but I do. But this bag so far, I haven't heard any this kind of calling or like urging for me to give it away. Well, we'll see about that. So that about wrapped up the projects I've already been working on. Let's move on to the second section of the fall knitting plan, which is really exciting as I'm planning these sweaters to put on, hopefully in this fall. So the first one is this stripe hype sweater by Kutova Kika. I've been following Kika for quite some time. I think maybe right after her wedding dress video went viral, but I've never tried any of her patterns yet. The reason I choose this one as the first one is because I really love the colorful design, and I think I will need that in my wardrobe for the pop color. And also a really important matter is that this can help me to use those little single balls of yarns of different colors that I have no idea what else to do with them. So I bought these yarns when I was doing crocheting for making the amigurumis, the dolls, but that time I wasn't really familiar with different types of wool. For me, wool is wool back then. So these wools, actually, let me show you the yarns I'm using for this project. So I have 4 balls of this. I think this is what's it called? Understory. It's called understory. I have 4 balls of this understory yarn from purlsoho, which I bought at least 5 or 6 years ago, and I completely forgot why I bought them in the first place. maybe for a scarf. The reason I say scarf is because this amount seems to be enough for a scarf, but not a garment. I don't remember. But anyway, this is a really beautiful almond shade yarn. I think it's wool and alpaca. I will find the exact content in here. So this is just enough for making this sweater in the size medium. I think it requires for a DK weight yarn of 350 grams, I believe, and I have a little bit less than 400. So it's a perfect project for me to use up these beautiful, yet I don't know what to do with you yarn. And for the accent colors, I'm using this blue color and this dark charcoal and this brown and also this really bright red color. So and there's a pink color, right? I figured I might have some of the Sandnes pure Ghent yarn left from my Eva cardigan, so I'll just throw them in there. It's perfect. It's also in DK weight. So for these yarns, they are by the same brand as I mentioned for the pullover top. It's a Chinese brand called Life Yarn. I don't know why on the label it says Love Yarn. Confuses me. This is 100% wool in fingering weight. It's that type of wool that we'll use for color works. So it really sticks together, if you know what I mean. But also it's very easy to break. Like if you just pull on it hard, it will just tear apart. So I bought these yarns when I was making a lot of the amigurumis, the crochet dolls, because it breaks so easily. It's not really working well with a crochet hook on the dolls, because for the dolls sometimes you need to decrease in the really weird shaped areas that you need to pull on the yarn tightly and they will just break on me. But I think this will be a perfect sweater project to cast on for using up all of these yarns, as well as trying out my first ever Kutova Kika pattern. I feel I'm being really excited and getting like closer and closer to the camera. I need to calm down a little bit. The second garment project I'm planning to knit in this fall. Actually, I'm not 100% sure. I want to make this vest from petiteknit or this beautiful v-neck oversized cabled sweater. I think it really depends on the mood and also the weather, the temperature when I finish my piece to see which is more realistic for me to cast on. But I already have the yarn for it. It's this beautiful 100% cashmere yarn. I think it's a more pure white. It might show up as a little bit of warm in the camera, but in person it's a really beautiful pure white. And I bought this from one of the shops here. I think this is about 1,500 grams of it, so there's quite a lot of the yarn, but it's really thin. Like you can see, it's more of a lace weight, I would say, or yeah, lace weight. I wouldn't say it's light fingering. So I need to pull at least 3 strands together to knit, and I've already done a swatch for it using 3 strands of yarn. I think I used maybe, I forgot the needle size, maybe I did 3.75 millimeter or 4.0. Oh, I forgot. Okay, lessons learned. Next time when I make swatches, I need to write down the specifics like immediately before I forget. But anyway, the swatch, I already blocked it. It's very soft. It's very soft and very gentle on the skin. So we will see what kind of project this yarn is gonna turn into. Now moving on to the final section of today's video. It's about the accessories or whatnots that I'm going to knit in this fall, or crochet actually. So the first thing that I'm going to crochet is this crochet bag to put all my crochet hooks in. I don't have any containers or organizers or bags for them right now, so they're just laying around. And for that reason, I lost maybe 2 or 3 hooks already. And when I see this bag, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make this and give every hook a home. So the yarn I'm using is this Overyod yarn. It has 50% copra, 20 acrylic, 20 polyamide, and 10 organza. It's definitely a very synthetic yarn, but that's good for this project because I need it to be durable, to be lasting for a long time. I'm choosing this beautiful lilac color. I feel this year I'm really into this color. I don't know why. I got 2 balls of it. One ball is 70 grams, which is totally enough for this little project. Last but not least is something that I'm still trying to decide. I know for sure that I want to use up all of these yarns. So this yarn is Lightweight by Purlsoho. I got these, I think, maybe back in 2017. Wow, or 18. That's like 6 or 7 years ago. And they're still laying around. I'm sorry. That happens. They are, I believe, 100% wool. Yes, they are 100% merino wool. And this color is the 2046 tabby gray. It's a really nice neutral mushroom color that has a little bit of heather in it. It will make beautiful hats, scarves, or mittens. I think the color might be discontinued already. But the thing is, I only have 2 skins and 1 ball. So that's about maybe 280 grams of yarn. That's really not a lot if I want to make a scarf. I thought about making them into like a matching set of beanie and mittens, but I don't really see myself wearing the beanie and the mitten as much as scarves. I'm a scarf person. Plus, if I have the matching beanie and mitten, I would not know what kind of scarf to pair with the set. So that's why I want to make them into a scarf. So right now, I'm having my eye on the scarf right here. If I want to go for the same kind of combination the pattern calls for, I would need to find a pure silk yarn in lace weight to pair with it. I am not sure about that. I think I will go through the stash I have and maybe try to find some sort of lace or fingering weight, like really soft yarn in a color that will make sense to make this project. This is still in the thinking process, so it's not a set plan yet. So that is it. That is everything I've already started and planning to work on for this fall of 2024. Hope you enjoyed the video and thank you so much for watching, especially if you watch until here. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you want to see how they turn out and for more videos of knitting and crocheting in the future. I wish you have a great month of October and I will see you next time.